Keep this under 45 minutes as we have high school students who are excited and ready to visit their classrooms after. And the middle school families, if you did not get a chance to go visit your lockers, you can do that, but in the building, we're not allowed to go into the building for the rest of the evening because Trinity Law School has finals, so we need to make sure that they were completely respecting their privacy. But you're more than welcome to visit some of the info booth if you would like to learn more about fine arts and athletics. There's also spirit wear sale. Students, if you're new, on Fridays you get to wear your OCCA spirit. So if you're interested in purchasing some, it is being sold right outside of the door by our wonderful foundation board members. Okay, welcome. My name is Mrs. Park. I am the founding headmaster and executive director. I won't spend too much time. Those of you who are new, hopefully you attended our open house back in April. If not, then on our YouTube channel, there's lots of videos that talk about our mission and vision and who we are, and mainly that we are a classical school. So those of you who came and joined our school, I hope that you're excited. And I certainly hope that you understand what we stand for. And we primarily stand for protecting our hearts and minds and souls. That is the heart of our mission. We do believe in raising you to be equipped for the functional citizens and reasons related to 21st century skills, college and career readiness. We do value that, and we do believe that that is all important. However, the more important is that we are here to become exceptional, virtuous citizens. So that is the core of our mission. Okay, you guys all know, those of you who've been here for a while, we teach two virtues. What are they? Good. Moral and intellectual. Intellectual refers to the head, the skills, the content, the knowledge that is really important to learn. And our teachers here do an exceptional job of teaching you the content in the most fun way. Moral virtue is protecting our hearts and minds and souls. It's the character development. And we have the four tenets that you guys uphold. And it's more important that we protect our hearts more so than just focusing on our intellectual development. Okay, I'll zoom past this slide for the sake of time. Again, if you're interested in learning more about what exactly classical education is, I'm here to answer any questions. There's also lots of resources on our website and on our YouTube channel. Okay, as you know, we are the only Hillsdale affiliated member school in California. We are a classical school before we are a charter school. However, as a charter school, it gives us the autonomy to make our own decisions. There's a lot of assembly bills and ed codes that we have to abide by as a charter school because we are still considered to be an independent public school. However, there's some ABs and ed codes that our board members and I work very hard to protect our mission and vision. How many of you guys are familiar with the most recent one, AB 495? Okay, I did want to address it. OCCA will never tolerate that. It is an evil. I don't know the best way to describe it. I feel silly saying that parents should always be respected with the highest level of decision making, and we trust you that you are the first and foremost educators. So OCCA will never agree to something like that where anybody can come and just pick up your child. I really recommend that you pay attention to those type of assembly bills, and even though your child may be safe at OCCA, I challenge you to all be responsible citizens and think about what to do to protect this mission. Okay, a little bit about charter school budget. because a lot of this is one of the questions that parents really want to learn more about. As a charter school, our revenue comes mainly through the state, through what's called LCFF, and that stands for Local Control Funding Formula. It is based on ADA, which is our attendance daily average. So attendance it helps with our budget, our finance. However, the more important reason is that at OCCA, because our content and curriculum is so robust, if your child misses one day of instruction, it is really hard to catch up. Even if you do qualify for independent study, it is not the same. And it's a lot of work for our teachers to put together independent study. So we really encourage you to look ahead at our school calendar. Everything is on our website and up to date. And plan ahead your vacations and your time off. If your child is sick, of course, please do not send them to school, but we ask you to please support to make sure that they are keeping up with the makeup work. Most of our expenses, there's about 60% now, and we're very happy to announce that the board approved a recent salary increase for our staff members, especially for our teachers. Compared to other CMOs, other charter school management organization comparable to OCCA, we are one of the highest paying salaries. So I'm really happy and thrilled about that. And then we have, of course, the remaining budget goes towards books and supplies and other services. So when you compare our school to an average public school down the street, we receive about, I want to say anywhere between 20 to 35% less than what a public school district receives. The reason is a lot of the grants and a lot of the federal revenues, we don't qualify for that. Our demographics doesn't qualify for that. There's a new grant that the Trump administration just released, where now the high-performing charter schools can apply for a specific grant. Of course, we qualify because we are considered to be one of the top 5% high-performing in the state. We are going to do everything that we can to qualify for additional grants. But most of the grants that are offered in California, we do not qualify. And on top of that, the buildings. Public schools are given beautiful buildings. We are not. As a charter school, we are responsible of looking for our own buildings and to pay for the rent and to take care of things like conditional use permit and things like that. So a lot of our budget has been going towards property expansion, and that's where we've been asking for parents to help us with not only fundraising, but also towards the capital campaign. If you know any good potential sites that we may consider for purchasing or leasing, please make sure that you come talk to me or Mr. Davis, who's in the back right there, our Director of School Development. Okay, how can parents work with the school? Please join the mission, continue to learn more about who we are and what we're doing and why we're doing that. Make sure that you stay in the loop. You will see a lot of communication from us. I don't think any parent has said, we're not hearing enough. You're definitely hearing enough. Please take some time to read the weekly Eagle News that goes out every Wednesday. We have one for lower school, one for upper school. Your teachers will also be sending out weekly newsletters through Google Classroom. Please take some time to read through that as well. There is a Facebook group called OCCA Community Group. That's different from the parent group. Parent group is run by parents. Community group is run by the school. And any additional pictures or announcements about upcoming events, we post it there to avoid sending you too much communication. We have lots of meetings and opportunities for parents to come out, including our Coffee with the Headmaster, board meetings, parent speaker events, SPED and EL parent engagement meetings. Okay. I say this every year, and I see the glaring eyes from a few of the parents. I hope you'll agree with me that things like limiting access to the cell phone, especially for upper school students, and choosing wisely the types of video games that you allow your child to access, as well as books. Not all books are considered to be safe, in our opinion. I hope you will work with us to protect your child's heart and mind and soul. And one of the biggest ways that we do that is through limiting these things. We have an absolute zero policy, zero tolerance on cell phone. And that includes watches, not just Apple watches, but nowadays there's watches that gives you access to the Wi-Fi. None of those will be allowed unless your child has a specific health condition that has to be approved by me. And we do that for lots of good reasons. So please work with us, support our teachers if they are reminding you and enforcing those type of rules. Okay, there's lots of volunteering opportunities as well. As Miranda Valdez, we have Ms. Idalia Garcia also here. She is looking for a parent who can help her as we are going to be launching 2 lines for lunch. It is a lot of work, and she's in need of a parent who can help her at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if you're available, please reach out to these individuals and offer your help. We have Ms. Nordstrom, who is our librarian. We have a library, if you didn't get a chance to see. Please reach out to her if you want to offer your help with the library. And then fundraising, Madison Miner is our foundation president. Is Madison here? And then we saw Mr. Kim and Mrs. Kim, who are also foundation board members. They work and volunteer their time to raise funds every year for the school. There's a lot of things that we need, but we can't afford. Things like the turf that our students now get to play soccer on, that cost about $120,000. And that was not in our budget, unfortunately. But thanks to the foundation, we're consistently raising about $1 million a year. We're able to afford a lot of the things that we have on our wish list. Okay, and then steering committee, Mr. Shaku, our assistant headmaster for upper school. There was a monthly meeting that steering committee meets, and we talk about just executing all the highest level of vision for upper school together. And then finally, Mr. Estais, our booster club. He's looking to create a booster club for those of you who are passionate about our sports. We are officially CIF qualified, and Mr. Estais. I got really big time for saying it's not about winning or losing. Please don't say that to him. Winning is important, apparently, to him. But if you're interested, please reach out to him. Okay, last but not least, foundation. We have a group of amazing volunteers who dedicate their time to raise funds. If you're interested in working with them, they do need a lot of help. They do a lot of fundraising throughout the year. We have the big annual gala that we hold, and which has been really successful. So whatever speaks to your heart, please do your best to get involved. Okay, with that said, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Shaku.
Let's give it up for Mrs. Parker. Yeah. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. How are we doing today? Are we excited for another school year? All right, kind of, maybe not so much yet. Good. Well, it's my pleasure to be here with you all and see you this evening. Semi's kind of given the higher level vision of our school. I'll be giving you guys the logistics. I'll do my best to answer most, if not all, of your questions through this presentation. A number of the things that I'll cover, I'll just go quickly through. There's something I do want to point out. If you haven't grabbed one of these already, on your way in this lobby, just on the other side of the glass doors, this is our front office for the VEC site. Grab an orientation packet. We've worked hard to publish these over the summer. And a lot of the information here that I'm going to kind of glance over will be very much so in detail in that packet. So if you've not grabbed one, please make sure you do so. Hey, Mrs. E, will you hold that packet up for me? That's what it looks like. It's this guy right here. and those are at a table right there in the front office. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Yee. All right, I'd love to introduce our new faculty. We have quite a bit of new faculty joining our upper school team this year. If you are a new faculty member, when I call your name, please stand up and give a lovely wave so that they can see where you're at. Ryan Brooks, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brooks. Ryan is a legend at our school. Raise your hand if you've been taught by Mr. Brooks at least once since being at OCCA. So he's certainly left a mark, especially with our lower school. Evan Brooks, please stand and raise your hand. That's the other Brian, I'm just kidding. They look exactly alike. They're not related though, I promise. It's not a coincidence. They have the same last name. I'm kidding, of course. Jonathan Perkins, Mr. Perkins, where are you at, Mr. Perkins? You're actually back here. Mr. Perkins will be teaching some upper school math as well as philosophy. Mr. Arredondo is not new to our team, however, he came on middle of the year last year. Arredondo, are you in here, sir? Where are you, Mr. Arredondo? I don't see your name there. He's probably the tallest person on this campus next to a few of you dads, so likely a tall guy will be one. Crystal, Mrs. Gutierrez, where's Ms. Gutierrez? Here she is in the back, our assistant athletic director, one of our coaches and PE teachers joining us in the upper school. Mr. Matt Loy. Mr. Matt Loy, are you in the building? There he is, right back here. Matt Loy will be teaching upper school history as well as logic and rhetoric. Mr. Mark Shin. Mr. Shin, where are you at, Mr. Shin? Right back here. For upper school science. We're very fortunate to have Mr. Shin this year. Mrs. Chang, Kathy Chang, right here in the back of our school. Ms. Giovinazzi for literature and grammar. Ms. Giovinazzi right here in the back. I guess they're pretty much just all in the back, so we can just keep going. Century Rip, where is Century Rip? There he is! Ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to introduce Century Rip to you. He is our very own upper school Century Rip. We are very, very grateful to have you. Thank you for serving our campus and our students. Please shake his hand on your way out of here this evening, everybody. Joel Reyes, our lead campus monitor for upper school, will be working hard to keep our students safe. And this year, we are very pleased to announce that we don't just have one ed specialist serving the entire school. We now have 3 ed specialists. One is a special ed director over the entire program. We have 2 ed specialists dedicated to just upper school. In the back, Mrs. Julie Williams, and the 6th grade is Marcy Gomez. So make sure that you guys take accept to them as well. These are our new faculty this year. In the orientation packets, I'm not going to read through all of that because you can grab one and look for yourself. But there is a lot of very, very good information in there. I, again, will glance over some of that in this presentation, but when you grab that orientation packet, the first thing you're going to say is, wow, this is beautiful. That's what I said. And secondly, you'll see a plethora of very helpful logistical information. Make sure you grab one of those. This evening, shortly after this presentation, right out in the courtyard, we will have a number of info booths available. The 2 in yellow, you need to visit this evening before you leave tonight. We have student schedules and Google Classroom codes. So Mrs. Ye, our upper school academic counselor, is leading the charge of that booth with our office staff. You need to get your student's schedule. If you don't get that tonight, of course, we can provide that for them tomorrow morning. But it'll be really pertinent that you guys get the student's schedule tonight so that you know which teachers you need to go and meet, okay? With the Google Classroom codes, once you have your student's schedule, you can see which Google Classrooms you need to sign up for. We have all of the codes for every teacher's Google Classrooms on this sheet, and so you guys can just use the schedule and go ahead and sign up with all the instructions on that classroom code page. We also have Carline placards. You need to grab one of those. Both of these will be in the same booth. Other booths that will be available include office information, athletics, fine arts. We do have a number of clubs and co-curriculars that are running this year. I'll talk a little bit about those in just a bit. And then a slew of other booths out there in the courtyard. A little bit about Google Classroom. We would like for everybody, every student and parent, if you would like, to connect to your child's Google Classrooms. The reason for this is weekly on Mondays, our teachers post a newsletter or just a post about what's going on in their classrooms, what are they learning, what assignments are due this week, are there any important reminders, and furthermore, it's a place for teachers to upload lecture notes, assignments, things that they handed out in class. If you're ever absent, go to Google Classroom, and you can actually stay on track while you're not at school. We usually year over year have a few families by the end of the year that still haven't connected, so we're really going to be pushing everyone to get connected to Google Classroom. It is a very helpful resource. Okay, first day logistics. Let's start talking about tomorrow, which, by the way, I cannot believe that tomorrow is the first day of school. How many of you felt like summer just didn't even happen? I didn't. I have two under two, 15 months apart, so I have been in a toddler storm over the past 2 months. First day logistics. Let's talk about uniform and dress code briefly. All students must be in proper uniform. There is a page in the orientation packet on what that proper uniform is and should be. Please visit the info booth tonight for any further questions about uniforms or purchasing uniform clothes. PE uniforms. The next two items on this slide are regarding a few revisions we need to make in our family handbook. That said, our handbook says that PE uniforms are required. This is not true. PE uniforms are available for students to purchase. If you would like to change into them for your PE classes, you are welcome to do so. You are not required to do so, okay? If you do want to change into your PE uniform for PE, you would do that during the passing period before your PE class, and then you would need to change back into your normal uniform following PE. Our PE teachers are prepared to give a little bit of a lead time for students to change and kind of freshen up during their passing period, so they're not just covered in sweat going to their next, fourth period math class or whatever it is in their schedule. Last thing I do want to say, last year, where's Howard Kim at? Howard Kim, our student body president. He's probably hiding somewhere right now. That's okay. I won't make you stand. So last year, yes, Howard disagreed with the shirt tuck rule. And we spurred Howard and a number of other students, rather than just defying a rule because you disagree with it, let's see if you can change it the right way. So we invited Howard and some students to one of our board meetings, and Howard petitioned to OCCA's governing board to revise our family handbook to change the shirt tuck rule from a mandate to a recommendation. And he succeeded. So this last year, we had a bunch of kids without shirts tucked in. I have made a personal commitment to wear a suit every day this year, even through October and November when it's 1,000 degrees outside. Yes, I will. Students, if I'm doing that, I'm calling you higher, and I'm asking that you tuck your shirts in, okay? While this is not revised in the handbook, there won't be consequences for this. However, we will hound you to tuck your shirt in because you look better that way. And when you show up for school, we ask that you show up worthy of what we're about to do, okay? We're not here to take a nap or slouch. We're here to learn and read good things and pursue what is ultimately good. So that said, let's show up for the occasion. Are you with me, everybody? I will find you if your shirt isn't untucked. I will find you. Okay. Student materials. I received a lot of questions about this. So we have two means of students getting their materials. The school dictates what materials we'd like for students to come with. And we have that list on our website. Now, families are more than welcome to go to Staples, Target, whatever, and purchase the materials on their own. If you did that, no problem. If you ordered a school supply box through First Day School Supplies, wonderful. Your school supplies are already on this campus. Okay? On the first day tomorrow, if you ordered a supply box, you don't need to bring anything but a backpack. You have your box here, and it'll be waiting for you in your first period class. If you have loose materials that you went and purchased on your own, put those in your backpack, bring those to school. You're going to go straight past your lockers, because I would imagine not everybody got into them today, and straight to your first period. Every first period classroom tomorrow will be practicing setting up their materials, and teachers will be guiding students to set up their belongings accordingly. Throughout the rest of the day tomorrow, students on the schedule will be visiting their lockers and will be ensuring that every student can get into their locker and has an appropriate locker. a high one or a low one, depending on height needs and things of that sort. From the middle school side, I already took a bunch of notes on students that need to get swapped up or down, so please let me know if your student needs a locker adjustment, and we will accommodate, okay? All students in grades 6 through 10 have a locker. Our lockers at this campus are in a courtyard just on the other side of the church building here. And then if you're a middle school family, you saw the lockers just behind the Trinity building. Throughout the day, students will have plenty of opportunities to swap materials in and out of their locker. And our teachers are preparing to really train them in planning their time well. We don't expect kids to go to their locker after every class period. Oh my gosh, give me a break. Look ahead in your day, right? I've got these next 3 classes. I'm gonna get the materials for these 3 classes, and I'm gonna come back after those 3. And then go to your locker once or twice in the day, whatever is manageable for you. What I don't wanna see is a student with an 8 million pound backpack doing this number across the campus. Okay, we're gonna really practice the skill of lockers this year, and we're gonna get fully used. All right, let's talk about car line tomorrow. We do have some new car line procedures from last year. 0 period starts at 7:40. This is for students who are enrolled in our before school tutoring opportunities. I can talk a little bit more about those here. We're not doing after school this year, we're doing before school. There's too many extracurriculars happening after school. So 0 period, 7:40 to 8:25 will be for that, as well as a few other extra and co-curriculums. That said, everybody else, if you're not enrolled in the 0 period, you'll be showing up anywhere between 7:55 and 8:30. Dismissal every day is 3:30 to 3:45. Here's what the flow looks like. I'm gonna come over here and Vanna White it. This is where we are currently. We're in here, this is the gym building. So this is where you guys will enter. This is the south gate, okay? I'm pointing at it directly here. So you'll drive through Grand, and it's just before you pass by the school. So this is the south gate right here. You'll come in this way. You'll come in, you'll go through our fun racetrack through the parking lot, and then we are gonna have all students in grades 6 through 10 dropped off at VBC. The reason for that is we have our kitchen here, and we wanna give every student the opportunity to receive breakfast if they haven't done so yet. So all students will be dropped off here. They can grab breakfast, they can hang out for a bit. Around 8:20, 8:25, teachers are gonna usher our middle school students over to the Trinity site here. Are you with me, everybody? Okay? So your car line will be as follows. You'll queue through the parking lot, and you'll come right up to the front gate here, and you'll stop. And all these other cars will line up, and they'll drop your kids off, and they'll go. And then this is the exit route. You just keep flying on down that long driveway out onto Santa Clara. This we have to leave open. We bought a school bus, ladies and gentlemen. We bought a school bus. And our very own Mrs. Marks is our personal Miss Frizzle. She will be driving the magic school bus to field trips and much more. One thing we have available this year for families in upper school that also have lower school siblings, let's say they just want to drop all their kids off at the lower campus. We have a shuttle service on our school bus now that will be dropping these kids off from Walnut directly here at that BBC spot in this space. And then this is just south. So, any further questions on that? I'll be floating around this evening. Please feel free to ask myself or Mr. Hubbard. Okay. Lockers continued. This is just a little infograph of the courtyard. We are right here, if you were to zoom out. So this is the locker courtyard, if you guys can make sense of that. So you come out of the gym into the church building, and you'll see it. If your students been here before, they know where the lockers are. One thing I do want to point out on this slide, don't snap your fingers, be mindful of people with a low locker, all of those courtesy things. Students will have the option to change their clothes for PE. If you want to leave your PE clothes in your locker, you can. Air freshener might be a good option, especially if they're in there for like weeks at a time. Maybe wash them. Work with your parents on the schedule, something like that. I do want to point out 2 things. Backpacks must stay in lockers. With these shared campuses, you guys, we don't have a lot of space to hang backpacks. They are a tripping hazard. We actually had a teacher that got hurt from a student backpack in the classroom last year, and that can't happen again for students or staff. So we have a new policy in place. First thing in the morning, students will visit their lockers upon drop-off. They'll empty their materials in their backpack into their locker, and they'll only take out what they need for their first few classes until the next locker visit that they're planning in their day. Are you with me, everybody? The very end of the day, before car line, they'll go back to their locker, load their backpack up, and then they're going home. Backpacks should really only be used to bring materials to and from school. If your child does have health accommodations or specific needs and they do need a backpack, we are prepared to accommodate that. Please just speak with myself and we will set some things up for your student. I know some kids have back issues or might have mobility issues, and a rolling backpack is preferred. Those may not fit in the locker, so we can work with you. Just let me know, please. Okay? First day logistics, student schedules. Again, these are going to get picked up at the schedule booth this evening. If you do miss the meet and greet, so if you're watching online right now, get your schedule tomorrow morning. We'll have a little booth out here at drop off, and you guys can grab your schedule before daylight. The first 2 days. So Thursday and Friday, it's not a full week of school, but I want to give you a glimpse into what your kids are going to be doing. Many of your students have been here for multiple years, and they know how we do things at OCCA. But for some reason, they still forget after every summer. That's okay. Our campuses have changed year over year. There's new things always happening at OCCA. So that said, we like to spend the first few days and then coming weeks teaching explicitly and then reviewing, rehearsing, and practicing procedures. And I'll share a little bit more of the philosophy behind this in just a bit. But Thursday, our students, and Friday are going to be really just learning the ins and outs of campus, classroom procedures. How do we behave at the school? What is the way we do things here? If you're a new family, your students will get the hang of things very quickly. We've got a lot planned for these early days of school. And so students, if you're nervous or worried that this is your first year here, we will take care of you, I promise. Unless your shirt's untucked, then you're in trouble. All right, moving on. Co-curriculars and field trips. So I want to talk about fine arts first, our fine arts classes and electives. We do have general art and general music. This is for 6th through 8th grade, taught by Ms. Capaldi and Mr. Noah Bush, our fine arts director. Mr. Bush and Ms. Capaldi also teach a class called World Cultures. It is a fine arts elective class for 9th and 10th graders. It is a wonderful, wonderful class. It is UC approved as well. Ms. Capaldi teaches drawing and painting 1 and 2. Mrs. Capaldi is a renowned children's illustrator. She's published and illustrated many children's books. She's also going to be running a club called Illustrating and Writing Children's Books. So we're very excited for that. She's very talented. So just a few points on our fine arts programs and offerings. Additionally, we do have some extracurriculars within fine arts. Our music program is expanding year over year with the addition of new staff. We have a 0 period winds ensemble, after school strings ensemble, after school choir, musical theater, and writing and illustrating picture books. So there's a number of extracurriculars taking place before and after school within the arts. I love it. Taking pictures of the slide. Sorry, this is grass. Okay. Sports. I'm going to go through our athletics offerings this year. I know Mrs. Park touched on it. We are a CIF school now, and we are growing. Yeah, you can clap for that. I love it. Last year, we won a championship and a semi-championship in the Orange County Charter School League. So our sports program is growing very, very quickly thanks to Mr. Esice and his team. For middle school sports, we do have girls and boys soccer with Miss Westbrook and our very own Mr. Joel Bush. Yes, Mr. Joel Bush. We also have some tryouts coming. The information is there. For volleyball and flag football, that'll be taking place in October, basketball February, and cross country in April. High school athletics in the fall, we're offering girls volleyball and cross country. In the winter, basketball and boys basketball, and spring track and field and boys volleyball. So we're looking forward to an athletic year of success and victory. Right, Mr. Esice? I don't know where it is, but just figured I'd try. Okay, I want to share with you our clubs. So something we've been working on for some time is trying to streamline a way for students and or staff to start and run clubs within our school. And we've arrived at that place. These are clubs that are teacher-led, but this year, students, if you have a club in mind that you would like to start at OCCA, the only thing you need is approval from me, and there's an application, and you need a teacher, faculty member to sponsor you and support the operation of that club. I urge you to start thinking about it because clubs are wonderful, and there's endless opportunities. I'm waiting for a chess club. I'm sure someone will start that soon. Nico, is it you, buddy? All right, I'm going to delegate that one to you, Nico. We'll see you tomorrow. But okay. Pentathlon, decathlon. This is new this year. Journalism and literary magazine is brand new. Picture books. And then for our high school students, we are entering the county mock trial championship this year. Any lawyers in the room that would love to help out with our mock trial team, call me. Funny side note, when we acquired Trinity Law School this year, we discovered one of their constitutional law professors, Professor Deloach, actually has his kids in our lower school. And we were like, no way. So he's actually consulting and helping us out with our mock trial team. We will have a club booth in the courtyard, so make sure you guys visit and sign up. We have some interest sign-ups at the club booth this evening. Field trips, take a look. This is what we are planning to offer this year. This is subject to change. We're trying to secure dates currently, but we're aiming for at least 2 field trips per grade level. I hear grumblings. Are these good grumblings? Cool. More information will come from your child's teacher when we get closer to these field trips. Thumbs up if I can move on. Thank you, Dan, Miles, Gage, appreciate you, boys. All right. Career in college. So we are not a school that emphasizes career and college readiness. That's just such a narrow view of educating a child that that's all we're trying to accomplish. Just making sure they get a good job and go to college. I think an education should really free a child to do whatever they want, because they have the knowledge and the skills to go after whatever their heart desires, right? That's what we're after here at OCCA. But your kids should probably go to college. They should probably aim for a job that pays them something. So that said, we do care about career and college readiness. Mrs. Williams, she's been working on a CTE, a Career Technology Education Pathway for our high school. We have a lot of exciting things planned this year. We do have 2 career nights, 1 per semester, focusing on a specific line of work. We invite all 6th through 10th grade families to come to those. Furthermore, she's working on this pathway and some workshops throughout the school year. These workshops might include resume building, job applications, college applications, things of that sort. So that said, throughout this year, our high schoolers are going to have multiple opportunities to start thinking about college and career. Okay. Student culture. I want to talk a little bit about this, and I've got 7 minutes left. Hold me to it. We can do this, people. Student culture. Pursuit of excellence. At this school, so we really emphasize this idea of virtue as a form of human excellence. We believe that there are core virtues or human moral excellences that truly lead to a more happy and free life. If you're just irresponsible all the time, chances are you're not going to be happy nor free. Responsibility is a lower school virtue for excellence, right? If you are afraid and you just live in fear and you don't show courage, that won't lead to a more free or happy life. There's a number of virtues and moral excellences that we teach at this school, but we do have 10 in particular, 4 dedicated to our upper school. That would be prudence, fortitude, justice, and temperance. We believe that these are 4 of the capstone pillars rooted in ancient Greco-Roman philosophy that truly lead any human being to a free and happy life. Our goal is for all of our students to love what is good and strive for what is excellent, objectively. And we hope to teach your students what those things are, right? So at our school, we emphasize moral virtue. Academic virtue, intellectual virtue matters, but moral virtue is really what we're after here. We care about our kids' hearts. We care about who they're becoming. And so what does that look like at our school? We believe that excellence is achieved through habituation. This was from Aristotle's thinking. When you do something repeatedly over and over and over again, you get really good at it. It becomes almost automatic, right? You get used to it. It's not a cliche. This is something that we ingrain in our school culture. From the procedures that we have our students doing, the way we do things, the way we line up, the way we order ourselves, all of these things are put thoughtfully in place to help kids build habits that will hopefully develop that virtue or that excellence within them. Additionally, our curriculum is the primary vehicle through which we teach virtue. We have a robust and beautiful curriculum at this school. It's the best curriculum I've ever seen from working in multiple different schools. And through these stories in history, through these great books and works of literature, and the discussions that we're having in class, we really get to make investments in the moral character of our students. That's a big part of our school. Discipline is a huge means of teaching virtue. When your kids get in trouble, we lean in. We do. Because we're with them in this, and we really aim to develop our kids' hearts and minds. Okay? So if you get a phone call from me, don't be afraid. It's the start of a beautiful partnership and an investment in your child. But that's it. Virtue lessons as well as assemblies and our house league. I want to talk a short bit about the house league here. All 6th through 10th grade students are a part of one of 4 houses. Mr. Davis hates when I say this, but it's just easy for a wide audience. Think Harry Potter. Are you with me? That's it. It's just, really, we do have 4 houses, and I'm not trying to lower the value of them with this connection to Harry Potter, but it just helps you understand. 4 houses, each house has a historical namesake. We have Washington, Churchill, Douglas, and Cato, and a capstone virtue associated with each house. This system is to put students in a group of belonging where they can intertwine with other grades. Each house is mixed grades. And 4 times a year, we gather. We don't have any classes. We play games. We compete against each other. We have assemblies where we talk about the virtue of the quarter. And the house days are very fun. Students, did you guys enjoy the house days this last year? I think they're very fun. We do have the dates for these house days and the virtue of the quarter that we're focusing on for each of those. Pen house. We are separated from our lower school. Someday we will be K-12 on one campus, but until then, we're trying to find ways to bridge our upper and lower school students. This year, 4th grade will be partnering with 6th grade and 5th with 7th grade in a pen pal program throughout the year. Some of these classes will be writing letters back and forth to each other as part of their literature classes. All right, almost done here, everybody. Support and intervention. We do have 2 full-time instructional assistants, Mr. Joel Bush and Ms. Rachel Fung, formerly Combs. She got married this summer. This is Rachel Fung. Their job is to provide support. They push into classrooms, they pull students out of classrooms under teacher guidance and recommendation. The goal for our IAs is to help close gaps, help students who need more of a challenge, and really catch all students up to where they need to be. Mr. Bush and Mrs. Fung will also be offering morning math and literacy support Monday, Wednesday, Friday at Trinity Law School in rooms 103 and 105. This will start in September, and we'll make some communication out for this for signups. If you guys are interested in that, you can contact me. Additionally, they will both have their own advisory periods at the end of the day for remedial support. If we are starting to notice grades slipping, especially for student athletes. You may be put on athletic probation, which means you won't have athletics during advisory, and you'll be put in Mr. Bush's advisory or Ms. Cohn's advisory until we get your grades back up. So we're not letting any students slip this year as well. So just know that we've got some great plans for intervention and support. For support plans, here's the point of contact. If you guys are interested in something like an SST or a 504 or an IEP, I don't want to go into the ins and outs of these things. These are just additional plans with accommodations for students who need support. Of course, there's a long line of procedures that come with each of these things, but hey, if you're ever looking to get more support for your child or you have concerns, please feel free to reach out to any of these people and we can point you in the right direction. I think we did it. Last thing, advisory and enrichment. All students end the day with advisory. Formerly, this has been basically study hall. We're trying to make this a bit more intentional this year. All students have this after their last class. What we do in advisory is a planner check. Every kid will get a planner tomorrow. This is what they write their homework in, and hopefully begin to plan things out in writing reminders, quiz reminders, things of that sort. Our teachers will check every single planner before kids go home. So parents, you should expect your child's planner to have things written in it, and if it's not, either the teacher didn't check, but that's not going to happen, or your child didn't write things in their planner. I don't know what happened. Let's just not plan for them to come home with empty planners. Plan on them having stuff in their planners, okay? There will be time for independent work as well. We are going to carve out some time to help students with study skills during advisory, as well as executive functioning. 6th grade advisory's entire year is focused on study skills and organization. They need it. 6th grade needs it. And we've got a very good intentional year planned with Mr. Brooks and Ms. Rupp. So looking forward to that. 6th grade enrichment. One more thing I'd like to add. Directly after 6th grade's 4th period, we have a short block, additional block for more intervention or enrichment support for our 6th grade students. So that said, got a lot of questions. Sorry, it's 6:15, so I don't have time for questions, but I will be out and about and you can ask me all night long.
I wanted to also add, this is a new thing that we're implementing this year. Parents, you may get some information or invitation to join an app called Smart Pass. This is new this year. It's to enhance our communication between school and home. Parents can track the loss of instructional minutes due to your child stepping out of classroom to go to the restroom. They may need to go to the front office for any reason. All of that will be tracked digitally this year. This includes for lower school as well. That would be included in parent-teacher conferences as well. Hopefully, we understand that sometimes students have to just go to the restroom, even though we encourage them to go during passing periods and during snack break and lunch recess. Those are all good habits that we want to instill. However, we want to hold them accountable, and if your child has more than 3 hours of instructional loss, then we have some problems to solve together.
Thank you, Mrs. Park. We're really excited for Smart Pass. It's a digital home monitor. And so every child has a profile. When they need to use the restroom during class time, they'll create a pass for themselves and then the timer starts. And if they're not back by the end of the timer, they go into overtime. And all of that gets added to their profile. So when you sit down with teachers, your teacher might be like, hey, your child's missed 17 hours of class this year due to the restroom. And then we've got a problem. So I'm pretty excited. You can also block 2 or more students from creating a pass at the same time. So like if student A and B have a daily meetup behind the gym, we can actually block them so they can't do that. So anyway, it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you. Before you stand up and go anywhere, here's your orders for the evening. Number 1, info booths. Okay, if they're too busy, maybe hit up some classrooms and then, why is this not working? Can we go back one? Oh my goodness. There we go. Schedules, Google Classroom, and your cardline placards are a must. Do that tonight before you leave. And then secondly, before I swap off of this slide, I'm going to show you guys where the 9th through 10th grade teachers are located. Okay? So here's the map. We are not going into the church building at all. Students will have some classes in one of the rooms in the church building starting tomorrow, but for tonight's purposes, we're only in this building. Room 101 is that first floor room right there. The remainder of classrooms are upstairs, and they're right in a row, okay? So we've got 101 ground floor, 202, 203, and 204. There's restrooms up top, there's restrooms in the lobby here. Info booths are outside in the courtyard. That said, ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. Let me know if you need anything. Thank you.